Everyone, what is up? This is Julie here and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to introduce to you my Nurse Aide trivia game. And what you're looking at right now is my Nurse Aide trivia game board. I have worked long and hard today to get the game board spaces made, the graphics, and just getting it, the layout of the game made. I still have not finished with the card decks. Right now, I only have the introduction to long-term care cards made. You will receive 90 of the introduction to long-term care card decks. And then you're going to have the safety and basic emergencies, personal care skills, basic nursing skills, and mental health. Now, the object of the game is for nurse aide students and candidates to gain or become more familiar with and to gain a better understanding of both theory and manual skills information. It's a real fun game. I'm briefly going to just give you the directions or instructions of the game. So to begin with, of course, to set up the game, all you'll have to do is open up the game board, place your pawn pieces on the start. The game can be played with 2 to 6 players because you have 6 pawn pieces. I found that playing with 2 to 4 players is a little bit more efficient. I'm sorry, I got my shoes in the video. Y'all can see my shoes. I'm so sorry. But anywho, depending on the length of time your class period is, will determine or help you determine how many students you want playing the game at any one time. Okay. So the game is going to come with 2 dice, okay? And the color of the dice will vary, okay? But to begin the game, each player will roll 2 dice, okay? That's just for, to determine who will go first. The person who has the highest number will be the first person to play, okay? They'll be the first player, and then the play will move counterclockwise or to the right, okay? Now, during the gameplay, you'll only use 1 dice, okay? 1 dice to play. So let's say yellow, the yellow pawn was first. I rolled a 6 here. Okay, see my 6. So I'm going to move 6 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I landed on Introduction to Long-Term Care. So I would actually pick up a card. And what I've done is I've actually numbered the cards. So you have, card number 1, card number 2, card number 3, and so on and so forth, all the way through card 90 for Introduction to Long-Term Care. And the reason why I did this is because with the instructions, I'm also going to have, I'm also going to have the answers to the questions on the cards, okay? Just in case someone doesn't know the answer, or maybe another player wants to challenge that person's answer, okay? So let's say I land on Introduction to Long-Term Care. I'm going to go ahead and pick up the card. And you don't have to have the cards in the exact order numbered. As the instructor or the, game players, y'all can, mix up the cards. So you don't have to play them in order as they are numbered on the back side. So anywho, this card is asking, what is the usual term used to describe a person who is receiving care in a hospital? Well, the answer is patient, right? Because there's 3 different terms that are used. You have patient, you have client, and you have resident. The person in the hospital is usually referred to as a patient. Person in long-term care or rehab is referred to as a resident. And those folks who are receiving hospice or home health care are usually referred to as client. So let's say the player got the number or got the question correct. They're going to stay here, okay, on their board space. If they did not give the correct answer, they have to move back one space, okay, and then that will end their play. All right. But let's say I got the answer correct. So I'm going to stay here. Then the next person will roll the dice. Okay, they roll a 6, so we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now here's where the game gets really interesting and really fun. Because this person, the red pawn, landed on the yellow pawn space, this red pawn can actually take control of that space if they answer the question correctly. So they're going to pick a card from Introduction to Long-Term Care. And this card is asking the question, which healthcare agency provides care to people who need help reaching their highest level of potential physically, mentally, economically, and spiritually? Now, if this person, if the person with the red pawn answers the question correctly, they can knock this person all the way back to start. Okay? All the way back to start. And now the red pawn is occupying that space. And then the person with the yellow pawn does not move again until it is their turn. Okay? But let's say they did not answer the question correctly, then all they would have to do is move back one space, and that will end their gameplay. Okay, on here I have this game is going to be so much fun, guys. Really, I have move forward one space blocks. I have go back to start, move back one space. So if the person, let's say the person lands on the move forward one space, they move forward one space, and this space tells them you have to go back to start. So they end up going back to start. Okay, so it's a really fun game. It's a challenging game. Your students will love this game. I actually had my students play a similar prototype game. The board, I mean, everything was still the same, but the board design was a little different. But I'm actually liking the way I did this prototype, so I'm going to keep it like this. So who wins the game? Well, this is it. Everybody wins, right? Everybody wins the game. But of course, you have to have someone that can hold those bragging rights, right? So to determine who wins the game, everyone has to come across to the finish line, okay? Everyone has to come across to the finish line. The player with the most correctly answered questions wins the game, okay? Everyone's going to finish the game, but the person who has answered the most correct or who has answered most questions correctly will end up winning the game. They'll end up winning bragging rights, okay? But this is a really fun game. Again, I'm going to put it on or activate it on my Etsy storefront here this week sometime. How much is it going to cost? I'm not exactly sure just yet. Of course, I have to calculate all of the expenses that I incur just to, make the board game. So that's with all the material and also the time that I, spend having to actually design the board, make the playing cards and creating them. So I will, make it, try to make the cost affordable to you. But this game board will last you for many, many training cycles. You'll be able to use it over and over and over again with the different training cycles that you have. So if you have any questions, just leave a comment in the comment section below. Thank you.